Hey everyone, it's Evasion. Welcome back to another video and what will be one of the first New World videos on my channel. I just recently started playing this on launch. I have not played the beta whatsoever. I'm very much a student of the game and I'm very interested in PvP content, mostly open world. And I would like to start uploading more content for this game, with like my findings and what I really enjoy about it. And different mechanics. I'll be going over my builds and just providing an update in this particular video about what I've currently been working on, and I hope you will enjoy. If you find any value in this video, please be sure to give the video a like. I'm going to be uploading a lot more New World content, basically whatever interests me, or if you guys have any questions where I've been farming up a certain level or anything like that, let me know. But without further ado, let's hop straight into it. Alright, to start us off, I'm going to talk about weapons. Pretty much the first 20 levels or so, when you have free respecs for your character attributes, and, well, your weapons have free respecs until, I believe, level 11. I just pretty much played around with a bunch of different weapons and kind of see, like, what I was interested in. First, I tried out, like, Ice Gauntlet and Fire Staff. I think they'll be really fun if they were higher level. But I've really been into the more mobile weapons and, in general, the strength weapons. Particularly Great Axe, Warhammer, and Spear are my favorites. Warhammer and Spear are my absolute favorites together. However, I am well aware that I believe Warhammer and Great Axe is going to be quite meta. A lot of players seem to be playing that due to the crazy lockdown and mobility that the Great Axe has. It really works well and pairs well with the Warhammer. But anyway, this is not really the point of this video. It's not supposed to be a guide or anything like that. I just wanted to go over the current builds of what I was using, some of which you may have seen in my previous video where I'm just doing some open world PvP. These builds evolved from what I was playing in that video. And basically with Warhammer, I'm playing mostly Juggernaut so I can get, the goal of this is I want to get more strong heavy attacks. I want to do everything I can to beef up my heavy attacks because they're great for weaving in between our crowd control abilities with this build. So I've been having a lot of fun doing this. You can get upwards of like around level 30. I get over 1,000 hits on players when I get really good charge attacks, which is pretty cool. So I've been enjoying the Wrecking Ball and going down to Breathing Room so that you get the AoE. When you're in like a 1v2 situation, it's kind of a cluster. It's really nice to have this trait. And probably the biggest trait, or the most important thing to get down to in this Juggernaut tree is basically when you're using heavy attacks and you have Grit, what Grit is going to do is make it harder to interrupt your attacks. So basically when you are trading hits with the enemy and they're hitting you while you're charging up heavies, they're going to come out with 35% extra damage. So you get an incredible damage boost from having this, due to how the game kind of works with, there's a little bit of lag and stuff like that too, so you're trading a lot of hits with enemy players in a lot of situations. And then in the Crowd Crusher, we're utilizing this tree. It's full of a lot of crowd control abilities. We want to be getting Shockwave here and going straight down to the end of Shockwave for a Meteoric Crater, which expands the effective range of Shockwave to a 4-meter radius. Basically, it's huge. If you guys don't have this spec, basically, when you press this ability, it gives a massive circle. It's really good for hitting people who just rolled away from you sometimes. If they're like right on top of you and they roll out, they can still be hit by this ability. But yeah, so that's pretty much that. I'll go into more detail on this stuff if you guys are interested in a build guide once I get a higher level and kind of have it maxed out. But this is just my own experience so far, and it's what has been working a lot for me. At earlier levels, I really enjoyed Armor Breaker when I couldn't afford to be splitting amongst the trees. I pretty much started off with Armor Breaker and Indomitable trait with it, which makes it really powerful. Yeah, so that's that. Moving on to the next weapon here, I'm going to talk about Great Axe very briefly. The thing that makes Great Axe so good, if you're new to New World, newer than me that is, which is very new, is the ability to have this Reap ability, which pulls them back to you, a Charge, which is a massive gap closer. And a pro tip for the charge is that when you're walking through water, instead of walking through the water, you can actually just charge across the body of water full speed, which is really insane. You're also unstoppable during this, so you can't really be interrupted, which is really nice. And then the entire point of this Mauler tree is to grab all of the things that cause pulls, and it gives you grit for heavy attacks. Your heavy attacks pull. Your pulls last, they are held longer. And then, of course, Gravity Well, which is a really, really broken ability. Even when I'm not using this weapon a lot, I do often carry one around with me, because when all of your abilities are off cooldown, all it takes is a split second to switch over to that off of my spear, which can be used. I would only ever do this if, you know, I was bored of the spear, or I was just trying to get away from a mob, because I travel a lot as a solo player. So pretty much if you know how to do animation cancels for your roll, or roll canceling, and have the Great Axe out with the charge, it's pretty much impossible for anybody else with any other build to catch you. You know, unless you're up against some kind of, like, I don't know, it would probably have to be like Great Axe and an archer, and the guy would have to have a wicked shot on him. But yeah, you're pretty much gone in that situation. And then I'm going to talk about my spear build real quick. Pretty much I've been talenting my spear to either kind of fight on its own, or to just play support for the Warhammer. If you can hit this javelin from a good distance when you're trying to close in on somebody, it's a good little chunk of HP you can take away from somebody. It gets pulled out incredibly fast out of roll, and it's very, very useful. You can use it right in melee range as a combo. It animation cancels right out of roll. It can be thrown really fast. It's really good. Yeah. And then we have sweep as well. We have tenacious sweep, so you get grit during sweep, so it's harder for it to stop. Grit is like super armor. Your character will glow white when you are using the abilities that have grit, and they're harder to interrupt. Merciless strength, basically when they get knocked down from our sweep and our javelin, they take 25% more damage, which is really, really nice damage increase. And then in Impaler, I just went down, I got the 5% crit on light attacks, which is pretty good because you weave a lot of light attacks as the spear. And finishing blows, 50% damage against targets less than 30% health. This is actually, you could have got this as well, but this is what I'm playing currently. And also Volt Kick, very, very good CC. It is heavy, heavy CC. I'll show some combos and stuff in an upcoming video, because it's very, very interesting and fun to me. But I just wanted to keep this video brief. And yeah, so that's my weapons. Also got the hatchet. I went straight down circa. This weapon's really troll. You pretty much just press this and spam autos, spam left clicks. Yeah, I don't really utilize this, but I kind of was working on it on the side, because it is definitely a good DPS weapon for doing PvE content in dungeons. Lastly, my gear setup. I've been going for strength and constitution, of course. As a spear and a Warhammer build, you want to use strength. If you're playing the spear with something else like a bow, of course you could use, you know, dexterity. But for me, we're trying to get strength, constitution. This gear is pretty much outdated at this point. I need to upgrade this. And gems are moderately expensive on my server. It's not very well progressed, so it was not worth gemming this gear that is soon to be replaced. In my weapons, however, I've been rocking the Exhilarate gem, which I believe is a diamond, for plus 12% damage when player is below 30% health. So whenever I'm about to lose a fight and my cooldowns come back off cooldown, and I can throw them into a crazy stun lock, I can get some pretty good comeback kills with this gem. I don't know if this is a long-term decision or not, but it just seemed like a pretty good one, and it was affordable for me to buy at the time. I also really like this Cruel gem on the spear, because when they are you know, slow stunned or rooted, which is something the spear is capable of a lot, you get a little damage increase. And then also I'm still using this spear, which is a little bit out of date because of this keen speed. Whenever I get a crit, I gain 30% haste for 2 seconds, which allows you to haste in this game is movement speed. So you run faster, which is really nice to close gaps after you hit those javelin headshots, which I don't hit a whole lot of because I'm not that great with it yet, but we're working on it. Another thing I wanted to mention too, which is really useful for new players, it's really, really good. You want to have the best gathering tools you can get at any given time. They will help save you an immense amount of time, and you'll be able to gather so many more materials in less amounts of time. And these Azoth extraction trait is really, really good to get. It's a 37% chance to get an extra Azoth whenever you're farming stuff, and you really want to have this on your skinning knife. If you can have one of this on any one of your piece of gear, you want this on your skinning knife over everything. It's really, really useful. I guess briefly before closing out the video, these are my current progress on trade skills. I've been working a lot on tracking and skinning, logging, and mining. Harvesting, I had a hard time up until level 30 because the things don't really stand out a whole lot to me. But now that I'm 30, I can see some more flashy things that I can harvest, which is helping out a lot. And I've also just been kind of working on leatherworking, woodworking. And as far as actual crafting professions, I want to get weaponsmithing going so I can make some sweet weapons later on, and cooking so I can make good stat food. The other things I'm kind of just putting off, and I want to just make sure I can always gather the best materials and refine them. That's how I'm going to kind of approach making money probably for a little while and selling weapon drops. But yeah, that's pretty much that. The one last thing I want to show, I'll go into this in the updated, or an actual guide or something when I release one of those or talking about my builds. But one thing that my friend Kliss, shout out Kliss for teaching me this, is basically the roll cancel, which is something a lot of players know how to do. But I see a ton of players that don't know how to do this. So basically, normally when you roll, you see how there is a little delay after you move your character. Pretty much, if you weapon swap or you unsheath or sheath your weapon during the animation, your character will never stop running full tilt. And if you can get good control over this well in PvP situations, basically you're not getting caught by anybody. And pretty much a lot of weapons will allow you to use their abilities straight out of roll as well, which will also cancel the roll. So you can do like, say I'm on my Warhammer and I do one of these cancels, I can instantly go into my Javelin like super fast. So yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. And it's pretty much my progress so far. I've been having a massive, massive time in this game. I think I've got, let's check playtime here real quick before the end of the video. We got 2 days, 7 hours, 17 minutes since the game launched. I've been playing a lot. I haven't really been rushing to max level. I've just been having an absolute blast PvPing. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe for more, and we'll see you in the next. Talk to me in the comments below if you want to see something specific or you want to know something that I can maybe help you with. And if I don't know, maybe my friends who played the beta a lot more than me might be able to give me the answer, and I can get back to you. Until next time.